Welcome. I'm going to show you how I made a launcher and how you can configure it for your needs utilizing VCode. So, to start, you have to have your object. In my case, I did a sphere. Okay. I then went to behaviors. I chose a speed, and because I want it to stop accelerating at a certain point, I chose just 10 times as a number and the value of 250. If I want it to accelerate for longer, I can increase this. And if I want to increase the range at which it accelerates, or the rate, so that it's a faster or slower number, I can do so here. 250 worked for my purposes, though, of what I wanted to demonstrate. Save that, and go back here. And then I created a simple simulation where I am launching the object. Now, as we are doing this with physics, I needed to make a ramp. So I just made a simple little ramp over here. I added guides just in case because I wasn't sure how consistent this was going to be. But I probably don't need these. In fact, I could delete them. And I made a picture frame that made it so that I can follow where it is and attach a camera to the ball so I can watch it travel and go through there. All right. So this is how I set up my camera so I can track this. You don't need this part for actually launching your ball or anything like that, but it is nice for keeping track of it in case you lose it or you want to see where it ends up or anything like that. Now, as far as the firing mechanism, I did a wait function so that it functions off of a timer, in this case every 8 seconds. I moved the ball back to its starting position, so this matches this, and I made sure it was oriented properly in case after it was hit or collided with or anything like that, it was reoriented. And then I'm calling the VCode function to have it start going. Let's hit play to see how that looks. So, we're just going to be standing here. We have our camera here, and off it goes. You see the ball launches and lands in the distance. This is going to be a consistent thing, so it comes to a stop. That takes about 8 seconds, which is why I chose that timer, so that the force is applied equally to it, and off it goes. So, this is my quick little launcher that was made, and I'm going to move to where the ball is landing now. So you can see it is consistently landing in the same location. And off it goes, and here it lands, about right here. Yep. All right, so you can see it is consistent in where it ends up and how it travels and where it goes. Some things to take to note is you don't want to launch the ball while it is moving, as what you are doing is you are adding acceleration to it. So you do want it to come to a complete stop before you try it again. Otherwise, there will be some variability in how far it launches. Maybe you like that, though. That's up to you. And you do not want the initial acceleration on the object in the VCode to be too high. The way Unity physics works is if the object is going fast enough to where in the next frame, if it calculates, it will be, essentially it can pass through objects if you get your object going fast enough at certain points, and it will no longer properly collide, or in our case, use the ramp, which is not what we want. If you're encountering this, you'll want to adjust the speed or acceleration of your object here, or adjust how many times it's being applied. Oop. Okay, but if we double this very quickly, and go through our experience. Okay, I suspect this is going to have it launch out of my arena, but it should still use the ramp. Okay, so you can see it uses the ramp, and this time it goes much further. And it's going to come back after 8 seconds, and there it is. Alright, so this has been my quick demonstration. You are able to adjust the ramp, in my case, however you would like. And, you know, switch out the ball for anything else. If you want to have a variability in the speed of your ball, to where you have one that's going fast or slow or anything like that, you can utilize a random number generator using a rule, so something along these lines. Okay, and have this be what is firing your ball instead. So if you have multiple balls, so every 8 seconds, you want to generate a random number. I put that on the blue cube. Randomize between 1 and, I don't know, 3, let's say. And rather than this firing every 8 seconds, you instead have this fire whenever random is equal to 3. And if you had 3 different balls with different rates or speeds and have them landing in about the same location, you can then, have 3 different behaviors for the balls and different layouts and adjustments to accommodate so that they're all landing or going at the same thing, just coming at different rates. All right. If you need further explanation on that, just let me know. But this is a quick example of how you can very easily do this and set this up and have it fire either by trigger, randomization, or just a timer. Thank you.